Okay, for the last video, we'll answer all the activities in Chapter 11. The first activity, we will find it on page 11.2.1.4. This activity entitled Security Threats and Vulnerabilities. What is security threats and vulnerabilities? Security threats or the cyber threats are simply threats refer to a cybersecurity circumstances or events with the potential to cause harm by way of their outcome. A few examples of common threats include a social engineering or phishing attack that leads to an attacker installing a Trojan and stealing private information from your application, political activists, DDoS, your website, or an administrator accidentally leaving data unprotected in a production system, causing a data breach or a storm flooding your ISP's data center. Then the vulnerabilities, it simply refers to the weaknesses in a system. They make threat outcomes possible and potentially even more dangerous, and it could be exploited through a single vulnerability. For example, a single SQL injection attack could give an attacker full control over sensitive data. An attacker could also chain several exploits together and taking advantage of more than one vulnerability to gain more control. We have 8 choices here. Then we have information theft, identity theft, data loss manipulation, and disruption of service. And we need to know the meaning of these statements. First, oh my God. For information theft, it is sending or stealing companies' user database. The next, stealing scientific research reports. For identity theft, making illegal online purchases. And then the last one, impersonating someone to obtain credits. For data loss manipulation, sending a virus to reformat a hard drive. And then altering data records. For disruption of service, we have preventing legal users from accessing data services and overloading a network to keep users out. We have successfully matched each scenario to its security threat type. Next activity on figure 2. We have the hardware, environmental, electrical, and maintenance. For hardware, use security cameras, then lock up devices, prevent unauthorized access. For environmental, create a positive airflow and control temperature and humidity. For electrical, install redundant power supplies, and install UPS system. And the last one for maintenance, label critical cables and components, then control access to console ports. We have successfully matched each security practice to its security management type. The next activity, we will find it on page 11.2.2.5. This activity entitled Types of Attacks. We have security attack scenario. A computer is used as a print server for ACME Incorporation. The IT staff failed to apply security updates to this computer for over 60 days. Now the print server is operating slowly and sending a high amount of malicious packets to its NIC or network interface card. What kind of attack it is? It is worm. Then the next scenario, Sharon, an IT intern at ACM Incorporation, noticed some strange packets while revising the security logs generated by the firewall. A handful of IP addresses on the internet were sending malformed packets to several different IP addresses at several different random port numbers inside ACME Incorporation. We have reconnaissance. Check. We have successfully matched each security attack type to its scenario. Then on figure 2, Jeremiah was browsing the internet from his personal computer when a random website offered a free program to clean his system. After downloading and running the executable, the operating system crashed. Crucial operating system related files had been corrupted, and Jeremiah's computer required a full disk format and operating system reinstallation. What kind of attack it is? Virus. Next scenario, Ariana found a flash drive laying on the pavement of a mall parking lot. She asked around but couldn't find the owner. She decided to keep it and plug it to her laptop, only to find a photo folder. Feeling curious, Ariana opened a few photos before formatting the flash drive for her own use. Afterwards, Ariana noticed that her laptop's camera was active. It is Trojan horse. Successfully match each security attack type to each scenario. Then the last figure, Angela, an IT staff member at ACM Incorporation, noticed that communication with the company's web server is very slow. After investigating, she determined that the cause of the slow response is due to a computer on the internet sending a very large number of malformed web requests to ACME's web server. Attack type, denial of service. And the last one, George needed to share a video with a coworker. Because of the large size of the video file, he decided to run a simple FTP server on his workstation to serve the video file to his coworker. To make things easier, George created an account with a simple password file, and provided it to his coworker on Friday. Without the proper security measures or a strong password, the IT staff wasn't surprised to learn on Monday that George's workstation had been compromised and was trying to upload work-related documents to the internet. We have successfully matched each security attack type to each scenario. Then for the last activity on this chapter, we will find it on 11.3.4.5. Read the show command scenarios, then drag each show command to the field next to the appropriate scenario. Show command, then show command scenarios. You suspect there is a problem with the current switch configuration. You want to see the saved configuration so that you can compare it to what is currently running. It is show startup config. You are on call with the Cisco Technical Assistance personnel. They ask you for the switch iOS name, RAM and VRAM and flash available. They also ask for the hexadecimal boot location. Show version. You are running the EIGRP routing protocol and need to know the update intervals and what active interfaces and networks are being advertised by your router. Show IP route. You cannot get to the internet. You need to find out if your router has a path to the internet and which protocols are being used to provide the paths. Show IP protocols. Then your network documentation really needs to be updated. A quick listing of the IP addresses of your routers in relation to their MAC addresses would help finish the task for recording purposes. Show ARP. Then the last one is which is the closest intermediate device to you. It has 24 ports and you want to see a simple list of the ports being used, their status, and the VLAN IP address of the switch. Check. We have successfully matched each show command to each scenario. Now we're done answering all the inside activities in Chapter 11.